Hello students, welcome back to our second lesson. So how have your experiences been over the past week? Did you have a general view of the TOEFL speaking section after learning the first lesson? Have you taken some of the quizzes and participated in the topics on the discussion board on time? If you have any questions, please send an email to me, your instructor, and I will reply as soon as I can after I see the email. And we can also have some Zoom meetings to discuss your questions or suggestions. This week, we're going to learn the first speaking task, the free choice independent speaking task. I will introduce the free choice independent speaking task first, then I will give you some examples and teach you how to compose your answers. These sample answers will be provided separately for your reference. Remember, you should always use your own personal experience during the preparation and during the test. Part 1, Introduction. Generally speaking, the free choice independent speaking task is based upon a given question, using your own experience, or making your own choice to talk about. We've identified 4 different question styles: description, giving advice, explaining 3 choices, and stating opinions. The first kind of question asks you to describe a person, a place, possessions, for example, books, artifacts, maybe even events or issues. If the question, for example, asks you to describe your favorite actor, state who he is, what his characteristics are, for example, his determination. Maybe you can talk about the most impressive things this person has done, or even how this person has influenced you. Give examples with details. Similarly, you can apply this to the possessions and the questions about place. If you're given a topic about an event or issue, you'll have to describe the process of the event or issue, then indicate its influence on you. For example, if the question asks you to describe a tough issue that you maybe have encountered in the past, you can describe how you overcame the difficult time. At first, maybe this subject, if you're talking about an academic subject, for example, you can talk about how it was difficult for you in the beginning. Then you put all your efforts into it by doing certain steps or things, and at last, because of your effort, your performance was much higher than your expectation. You can also mention how this experience was or is unforgettable to you. Now here comes 2 sample questions. Try to prepare and organize your answers using your own experience. Then speak for about 45 seconds. If you cannot think of the answers at the first time, don't worry. There will be some sample answers for your reference after this tutorial video. Number 1, which do you miss most about your home when you are away? Use specific details in your explanation. Who's your favorite movie star? Describe who he is and explain why you like him or her. The second type of free choice independent question is asking you to give advice. You can give several suggestions with reasons, or 1 suggestion with 2 reasons. If the question only asks you to give 1 suggestion, then only give 1 suggestion. For example, if there's a question saying that your friend wants to go to the university next year, but cannot decide on a major or a field of study, and asks for your advice, since the question did not limit how many suggestions, you can give more than 1 suggestion. You can suggest her to ask her parents for help, ask students who have been admitted by the college, or to give some advice. She can also search for the information online, or if she could, talk to the professors in the field in which she has an interest. This second question is just our example, so just think about some reasons based on the speaking prompts. Number 3. If friends from another country were going to spend time in your country, what city or place would you suggest they visit? Use details and examples. Explain why. 4. Your friend wants to go to university next year but cannot decide on a major, field of study. What advice would you give and why? The next kind of question in task 1 is to choose from 3 given choices. You can either compare A with B and compare A with C. Then choose the best one. Or you can directly state your best choice and give 2 examples to support your point of view. Here are some examples of the 3 choices independent speaking prompt. 5. Which of the following jobs or careers do you think would be most rewarding? A university professor, an environmental scientist, or a newspaper journalist? Choose one career and explain why you think it would be the most rewarding. Use details and examples to support your answer. Among surrounding infrastructure cost and location, which do you think is the most important factor when choosing a house? The last kind of question in task 1 is asking you to state your opinion about the advantage or disadvantage or the difference between 2 things. For the advantage or disadvantage, you will need to first state your opinion, which you decide good or bad. Then you can mention a minor disadvantage by beginning your sentence with although blah blah blah. You can also skip the although and directly state the advantages and give 2 examples. For the difference one, you just need to speak out the differences between the 2 things, like 2 places, 2 people, 2 books. You don't have to distinguish which one is better or worse. The last 2 kinds of questions were not high frequently asked questions on previous TOEFL tests. Now it's time for you to review today's lesson and compose your answers for the sample questions. 7. Talk about a skill or ability that you consider especially important for a student to have. Use details and examples to explain your answer. 8. School is planning to change quarter to semester with aims of making students learn more deeply. Describe the advantages and disadvantages of this idea. Well, that's today's topic, so we will see you in lesson number 3. Bye-bye.